what I've created is these are little snap-on things that you use to hide wires and fasten them to your wall, where you're going to run a thing that's already pre-exists, and you're just putting a channel. They're just a 5-foot channel that I've cut down. This is about 22 inches long. This is the longest one that I've made. And what I've done is marked 1/4-inch lines here and drew it straight across. And then on my drill press, I drill the holes. This one I marked because the XT90 on this one here is a little wider than 1/4 inch, and so I just marked it and drilled it, made sure it fit. And the same way along with all these 20 that I've created for each of the packs. I have about 54 of the 36 volt nominal voltage packs that I'm going to put up to about 40 volts. And I'm just plugging them in here. These are XT female, XT60s, and on the packs they're males. XT60 male, and you just plug in here. And so you want to keep the positive on one side, the negative on the same way here. So you continue on with your 36 volts. I've already made 2 of these, and this is the final one. And what I do is I take a solid wire like this, number 6, put one end on the vise and the other one on a drill, and drill it out so it's somewhat straight. Of course, you have to have 2 of them, one on each side. You put them on here, one at a time, and you find out where you're going to bend it, because you want to bend this end towards, so your solder joints are a little closer. See, the XT90s are not as wide. If they're 1/4 inch, it'd be a lot easier, but they're not. These are probably 3/8 of an inch right here, 3/8 of an inch. So anyway, I am going to solder these, and I will show you how it works once I get ready to bend and solder these. Now I'm going to trim these down. I don't want them sticking out. So I'll trim them down to about right about here, bend it so this will come down here and more closely come to these contact points where I'll solder. But I'll demonstrate that in high speed. What I've done is I've bent the ends of these just a little bit to bring these closer here. I use the scraps that I cut off to use as a shim to move them a little closer. Now each of these on the bottom have been hot glued in, but you're going to find out that when you start soldering these, the hot glue is going to start melting, dripping down. But I just need to hold them in place. And the same way here, the shims have been made. I got to move this one a little bit. There we go. And what I'm going to do is solder each of the ends first to hold them in place. And then I will start soldering as I go down. And sometimes these shims, the solder runs over and bakes them, so that's okay if they are left in there, but I try to remove them when I get done, because I'm going to need them on the other side here when I start doing the other side. One side at a time. As the soldering iron gets warmer, as I mentioned, it's a Weller W100P, and the solder that I'll be using is a 0.8 millimeter and also a 0.12 millimeter. The smaller wire seems to work best. I've tried heavier wire, heavier solder, and no, it doesn't work as well as the 1.2 and the 0.8, and I got these from China. And this I bought on eBay, the soldering iron. So we're going to try it here. I'm going to pause for a second so I can fast forward this. a recap. Far better wire than the 1.2 millimeter, and it does have flux built in. And I find out even without flux, it gives a better weld, better soldering joint. So, and you can see I'm getting down to, you probably will finish this by the time I do the next one. But unfortunately, this is the only roll I have of this particular type. The next thing I check after I do the soldering is make sure we have a good solder joint. Which we do. The next thing, after we get that done, is take the back side of this. As you can see, I finished both sides. I already checked the other side of the negative side out before. And you want to make sure that all the positives are on one side and the negatives are on another side. Definitely want to do that. Then, the only problem you're going to have putting this in is here are our little pieces here that are sticking out right here. They're sticking out a little bit, so that might not sit totally flat. Yeah, see there, that piece is sticking out. I don't want to bump it, so I'll let it stick out. But this piece is sticking out too. Yeah. And what you do is you get your batteries. These are how the battery packs come. They are 2P 10S. And these are I guess these were for electric bicycles at one time. And you just plug them in. You can plug them in here. We'll get our voltage meter back out. Put it on DC. And we will check our voltage. Positive and negative. So, 35.08 volts. Now, I charged these about a year ago. I bought these last year. So, and I charged them up to 40 volts, so they're down a little bit. And we'll plug in our other one here just to see. Now we're up to 36.71 volts. So, cool. The next thing is, I will have to show you the other problem that I have trying to use these batteries, because these have a BMS in them, each one, and I'll show you the dilemma I have in the solar building. That will be our next video.